Now let us understand rules to acceptance. Normally we tend to accept the proposal. If you are a shopkeeper, people come to you to buy products, to buy goods, and you tend to accept the proposal normally. But in law, there are certain things which you need to keep in your mind to form a valid acceptance, to make your acceptance valid. Now, let us understand what are those essentials, what are those requirements, what are those rules to a proper or a valid acceptance. The first is acceptance must be absolute and unqualified. Now, what do you mean by this word absolute? Absolute means complete or totally, in totality. Means completely or in totality. It also has to be unqualified. Unqualified means unconditional. So the acceptance has to be absolute and unqualified. Now, let me just give you an example. Before getting into this point, explaining this point, let me just give you an example. If you ask me that would I purchase your bicycle for rupees 1500, so my normal answer would be yes, I would like to buy your bicycle for rupees 1500. But just consider a case where I say I would buy your bicycle for rupees 1500 provided you buy my bike for rupees 20,000. Now, do you think this kind of a acceptance is valid? If you look at it, at the first look, you will say that this is a valid acceptance. You gave me a proposal and asked me to buy your bicycle for rupees 1500 and I have accepted it. The only thing I have attached to it, the only thing I have added to it was a condition that if I accept your proposal, you have to buy my bike for rupees 20,000. But the main proposal seems to be accepted. Now, this is where most of the students commit mistake. In this case, if you notice, if you observe, I have attached a condition. You gave me an offer to buy your bicycle, but I have attached a condition to it. I said I'll buy your bicycle only if you purchase my bike. So now, can I say the acceptance is conditional? Or does it sound perfectly alright, unconditional? No, this acceptance is conditional. I have attached a condition to the main proposal, to the acceptance of the main proposal. My acceptance is not per se by itself, but a condition has been attached to it. And such an acceptance where there are conditions applied is not a valid acceptance, because the acceptance has to be unconditional. Please remember, the acceptance has to be unconditional. When you ask me that would I like to purchase your bicycle for rupees 15,000, my answer should be yes, I would like to purchase your bicycle for rupees 15,000. I am not allowed to attach any conditions to it. Generally, people tend to attach conditions. Yes, I would like to buy your stuff if you give me 25% discount. Yes, I will like to buy if you give me 10 days credit. Now, these all are conditions attached. A valid acceptance does not have any conditions attached to it. It is always unconditional, it is always unqualified. At the same time, it is always absolute. For a acceptance to become valid, it has to be absolute. Absolute means it has to be accepted completely in totality. In the same example, if you give me an offer to buy your bicycle and I say yes, I'll buy it, but I'll buy only the two wheels of it, or I'll buy it without the wheels. Now, would this amount to a valid acceptance? No, this won't amount to a valid acceptance because I am not accepting the offer completely. You are asking me to buy your bicycle completely, but I am not accepting the bicycle completely. I am accepting it without the wheels or the tires. So I cannot say this acceptance is absolute. So for an acceptance to be valid, it has to be absolute as well as unqualified. Now, whatever conditions you attach to it will become a counter offer, will become a counter proposal. If I attach a condition to it, then it would be like I am giving you a proposal, and then the ball would be in your court whether to accept it or to reject it. Then you are the person who has to decide. Okay, so we move to the next point. Acceptance should be communicated to the offerer. We've just learned the definition of acceptance. If you recollect, the definition says when the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his acceptance or signifies his assent. The important word here is signifies, and signifies, as I said, means communicates. So the definition itself says that the acceptance has to be signified, it has to be communicated. Else, how would the offerer know that his offer has been accepted? The offerer is not somebody who can read the mind, he is a normal person. So, when the offeree accepts the proposal, he has to communicate it to the offerer. Unless it is communicated, the acceptance is not complete, it does not become valid. Now, there is an exception to this rule, which is a general offer. Now, what is a general offer? General offer is an offer which is given to public at large. It is given to the public. Anybody from the public can accept it. In this case, if any person from the public accepts it, then he might not come to the offerer and say, yes, I accept your offer. He can simply accept the offer and start working towards performing it. It is not necessary in case of a general offer that the offeree goes to the offerer and tells him that, yes, I have accepted your offer. A general offer is made to the public and anybody from public can accept it and perform it. The performance implies the communication here. Once it is performed, it implies communication. So only in case of general offer, the offeree need not communicate it to the offerer. The next rule is acceptance must be given in the specified method or within prescribed time. Now, this we have already studied when we were studying the essentials of offer. That offer needs to be accepted in the mode specified, and if the mode is not specified, in the reasonable mode. The same has been given here. When you are accepting, you have to accept in the mode or the method specified by the offerer. Now, for example, if I give you an offer, would you like to purchase 100 gallons of purified water? If you accept this offer, you have to call me. You have to give your acceptance on call. This is the mode that the offerer that I have specified. But what you do, you write a letter to me accepting this offer. Do you think that will lead to a valid acceptance? No, because in the offer I have specified a mode, which is to accept by making a call. But what did you do? You wrote me a letter. Now you are not abiding by the mode specified. You are not following the method that I have specified while making the offer. So, offer has to be accepted as per the mode specified by the offerer. And if you do not accept it as per the mode or the method specified by the offerer, that will not amount to a valid acceptance. And same is the case with the time. It should be accepted within the time prescribed by the offerer. If the offerer says, I'll give you 7 days to reply back to me, I'll give you 7 days to accept the proposal, now you have to accept it within those 7 days. If you accept it on the 8th day, the offer would already have lapsed by the end of 7th day. Now your acceptance is baseless, it is meaningless. This acceptance won't form a contract because the offer has terminated now, it has expired. However, if you would have accepted within those 7 days, let's say you accepted on the 4th day, then this acceptance would be a valid acceptance and it will form a contract. So the acceptance has to be made in the prescribed method, in the prescribed mode, as well as in the prescribed or the specified time. If you do not accept it in the prescribed mode, the offer lapses. If you do not accept it in the prescribed time, during the prescribed time, the offer lapses. Mere silence does not amount to acceptance. If I give you a proposal and you accept it mentally, but you do not communicate it to me, you remain silent. Can I assume that you have accepted it? What should be my assumption? You've accepted it or you've rejected it? Obviously, I'll always assume that you have rejected it. You are not interested. Because if you would have been interested, you would have told me or you would have expressed or communicated it to me that yes, you accept the proposal and you are very willing to perform it. But if you remain mum or you remain silent, then I can infer from that you have rejected the offer, that you have not accepted the offer. So, mere silence will never amount to acceptance. Now, this is not a rule, but it is just additional information about acceptance, that acceptance may be, see, we've used the word maybe. So it may be there, it may not be there. So acceptance may be by conduct, which is called as implied acceptance. So normally we have learned that acceptance has to be expressed. So that is express acceptance. Now we are also learning that acceptance can be implied also. It can be inferred by the conduct of the parties. Now I'll just give you an example. Let's say you are the owner of a apparel store. You sell clothes, jeans, t-shirts, shirts, etc. I come to your shop and you show me jeans. I tell you that I like three jeans, but I'll pick only one. So because you know me, you tell me, no worries, you go home, you try them, you show it them, you try them and show it to your parents, your, you know, brother, sister, whoever it is, and whichever they like the most, you can keep it. I'll take the other two back. So I say, okay. I go home and take those three jeans, and the next day I sell them off to one of my friends. Now, what can you imply or what can you conclude from this act of mine, from this conduct of mine? There's only one thing that you can conclude, that is, I have accepted all the three genes, and after accepting, I have sold them also. So now I'll pay you for three genes. So in this case, I never told you that I have accepted. I am okay with all the three genes, but what I did was I sold it off to my friend. I sold all of them to my friend. That means I accepted all the three genes and then I further sold them off. So by this conduct, by the action, by the behavior that I showed, you can conclude that I have accepted your offer. I have accepted all the three genes. So acceptance may be implied, it may be by conduct. Normally, you see that acceptance is by spoken or written words. It is normally expressed, but acceptance may be implied also. I'll give you one more example on this. You go to a rickshaw stand, you see the meter of the rickshaw up, you sit, you go and sit in a rickshaw, in that rickshaw. The rickshawala gets the meter down and starts. Now, please understand that this is implied acceptance. When you go and sit in the rickshaw, it is implied that you will pay for the fare. When the rickshawala gets his meter up, it is implied on his part that he'll take you wherever you want him to take you. So, the conduct tells you that the offer has been accepted. Nobody speaks anything, nobody gives in writing anything in this regard. But what happens is you see the acceptance of the offer. So, acceptance may be expressed or it may be implied. There's one more example for this, which is a fall of hammer. Now, in many movies, you must have seen auctions taking place. Now, how does the auctioneer normally bring the auction to an end? What he does is he bangs the hammer, he falls the hammer. So whoever has the highest bid, after that the auctioneer bangs the hammer. Now, does the auctioneer say, yes, I accept your bid? No, he never says that. But still, he accepts your bid, but still, he accepts your offer in the form of a bid by the fall of the hammer. Now, this you can say is an implied acceptance because the auctioneer never gives you in writing that he's accepted your offer as a bid. He never tells you in spoken words that he has accepted your offer in the form of the bid. But what he does is he does some action which helps you understand that yes, he has accepted your bid and you have won that product in the auction. So, this is an implied way of accepting. This brings us to the end of rules on acceptance. So, we have learned what is acceptance, we have done its definition, and then we have understood what are the rules for a valid acceptance. If any of these rules are missing, the acceptance will not be valid. Okay,